Hello viewers, and welcome to News OK's Parties Extra. We are here with Ann Hargis. She is the wife of Oklahoma State University President Burns Hargis, and she is OSU's most enthusiastic supporter. Hey Ann, welcome.
Oh, thank you, Helen.
The Hargises have been at OSU for a year now. You're the first cowgirl.
That's right.
And both of you all are well-loved, well-respected by the students, the faculty, administration, everyone. They're all glad you're there. Well, what's it like?
We are glad to be there. Well, I often say that we are in the college environment, so therefore Burns is my roommate, and we have just completed our freshman year. So haven't declared a major, but we are absolutely thoroughly enjoying everything we are doing. It is exhilarating to be around all these bright minds, and the students are just so energetic that it's invigorating to be around them. And then when you couple that with all the inquisitive minds, the intellectual curiosity of all the people of all ages in Stillwater and on that campus, it's an adventure.
What are your favorite things that have happened this year?
Well, you know, just to summarize everything is so hard, and for everything I tell you is a favorite thing, there'll be 100 things I leave out. But I think it just started with the very first morning I awakened. And I walked through the living room to go get a cup of coffee, and I looked out our large windows, which faced the east, and there was this glorious sunrise. And I just took that as an omen that this is a new dawning. And so then I got in the car and I drove to campus. You know how you're just sort of a little anxious. You know where you're going, but you're not sure where the parking lot is, and you've kind of followed a map. And as I drove down the main street of campus, I saw all these students changing classes. You know, they're in every form, shape. They have everything on, from formal attire, students in suits, students in pajamas, students in shorts. And this one student, a typical student, came right in front of my car, and he was on a skateboard with a backpack on his back, his cell phone, which most all students have these days, cell phone in one ear and a cup of coffee in the other hand. And off he went, and I thought, well, we are in for a ride now. So
that is a favorite memory.
Well, just the beginning of everything was such an eye-opener, and then it just crescendos from there, all the memories, and just being around the students is
awesome.
So fun.
Well, and you mentioned how really OSU they're loyal. I mean, they're loyal people, they're nurturing, they're decent.
Wholesome.
From every alumni person to every student now.
Yeah.
And you love that.
Love that.
You feel pretty strong about that.
And it's such a good time right now. People are ready for things to change, ready for new things to happen.
And new things to learn.
So it's just, we think that we are the lucky ones to have the privilege to be where we are at this time right now. So.
Well, and you said that you asked a student why she had chosen OSU, and she had a great reply. What was that?
Well, the background of that is that I have a good friend from Grove, Oklahoma, and she had a high school senior as a daughter looking at many different campuses. So I knew they were coming to look at OSU. And I was just on campus, and I talked to some of the students, and I said, what made you choose this as your school? And this one looked at me and she said, I come from a small town, and I felt that OSU, from the minute I stepped foot on campus, OSU had a small town feeling with big city opportunities.
Oh.
And I thought that just kind of summarized everything.
That's a great answer.
It really is, yeah.
Well, and you all you and Burns are establishing some of your own traditions these days, and so tell us a little bit about what they are.
Well, that's kind of fun because it's only been a year, and there are so many traditions on the school that we lock into so many that are going on at the same time. But some things have fallen into place, and we're starting chairside chats.
Throughout the state or on campus?
They are actually throughout the state and the nation. But they are a way to connect with people and let them know some of the things that are going on campus and some of the dreams that we have for the future, and also get feedback of how they feel they are connected with the school or would like to be connected.
Burgers with Burns?
And Burgers with Burns also has evolved this year. On one Sunday night a month, we gather with a random selection of students, and I have no idea they are, again, they may be in a sorority, they may be off-campus students, they may be grad students. Any number of combinations come, and they don't know why their name was lottery or whatever it is, but we go to Eskimo Joe's in town.
Yes.
And we just commune, and really the tables are turned. We talk with the students for a while, but then what we do is poll, and we try to figure out what things they like, what things we could be doing better, and just some ideas they have.
That's a great idea.
Thanks.
And pancakes?
Well, now this is a tradition that has been going on for several years, but we've locked into it. During finals week, pancakes are served to any student who wants to come to the student union, and they're free. And so Burns and I are back flipping pancakes.
Is that at
9
night?
until midnight.
Oh, 9 until
midnight during finals week.
Oh my gosh, because they're up
Not
and
every
they're hungry.
night.
No, but
Well, it's just a good study break, and they're just, they're just sort of glitzy-eyed from cramming for finals, and it's just another way to be around the students and connect.
when you moved into Wilhelm House.
The Wilhelm House,
And
which is named after a president.
And that's located on the outskirts
It's
of
just
the
off
campus.
campus. When it was built a mile from the library.
Yes.
Now the campus has grown out, so the house is not quite a mile off campus. And again, this has evolved. When we moved in, there was no furniture and absolutely nothing on the walls. So we approached the art department, and they were more than happy and very generous. We have over 64 pieces of art hanging on the wall from the permanent collection. And each piece has its own little plaque as to who donated it, who the artist was, when it was done. And so it's kind of a laboratory for that. But in addition to that, we've had numerous. I came in last night, and on my main coffee table in the main living room are 17 miniature chairs that are being done by the art department. And it is it's a class project. Each one has done his own chair. But then we're going to get yard art, larger pieces, out in the yard. So, I mean, things are going on. Chairs.
How great.
Yeah.
So this house is a working lab.
It's a working lab. We've had the interior design department has done a flow of, when your guests come in, which way do they go and what's the best way to serve. And then along those lines, they've also done a study on lighting, and there's an ongoing laboratory study of lighting going on.
In your house?
In the house. There are two public bathrooms, I guess you would call them, downstairs. They're like a his and a her bathroom, and there's only one thing that's different in both, and nobody knows what it is. And so when people come for different meetings, they will go in both bathrooms with an assignment just to wash your hands and spend some time, look at yourself. And then when they come out, they fill out a form as to how they felt, what the difference was, but they're not supposed to know what it is.
How funny.
It's great, yeah. It's numerous. The
Work
friends
in
in the
progress.
library have done a shelf in the living room with all artifacts, and then hotel restaurant management have done the shelves in the kitchen with all kinds of cookbooks and artifacts from the cooking school, and it's just
Totally a work in progress.
oh yeah, yeah. And also, it is a school of landscape architect. So landscape architect class has done a rendering of a corner patio, and so I have like 14 or 15 different plans of how that patio could be reworked.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's great.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, tell us about Grandparents' Day. That's coming up.
Oh, this is Grandparents University.
Oh, Grandparents University.
Grandparents University
Tell us
is
about
probably in its third or fourth year, and this is
University.
where Grandparents University, because the grandparents come with the grandchildren, and they declare a major together, the two of them.
How long are they there?
3 days.
3 days.
But you get your whole college experience. You live in the dorm with your grandparents. You go to class, and you have tailgate parties, and you experience the college life.
Oh my.
It's wonderful.
Do you visit different colleges?
You actually declare a major. So this year I'm going with our two grandchildren. We like to pair one grandparent with one grandchild, but because I've got two of mine, we're in the same major. So we're doing art. But there are other colleges like aviation. You can get a degree in aviation, firefighting. I'm going to list so many of them up. But there's entomology,
Tell us
study
about
of
entomology.
bugs.
Yes.
Well,
That is one of the first things you told me about.
Because I got to experience
Yes.
it again with our grandchildren. And part of the entomology is they have what is called an insectary. And I may not be pronouncing that right, but it is a museum of bugs geared to children. And so they have small microphones microscopes on small shelves and small little stools, and the children can come in and examine different bugs that are preserved in lucite, and they can look at them in the microscope. And then gradually they go and they see bugs that are in jars, and they see a tarantula, or they see things that are protected. They're not going to get hurt. But then they go into another room where we're raising walking sticks, and so then they can play with the little walking sticks.
And they love it.
Absolutely.
I bet they are mesmerized by the whole experience.
Yeah, and also some children, you can find that children take on their parents' phobias, I guess is what I want to say. And you can watch these children afraid of bugs and then all of a sudden get so interested in them because you break down some of those fears that are unnecessary.
Any other schools you want to tell us about?
Oh, I can tell you about all of them. I just hate to quit. Of course, for children, again, the vet school, which is very well known in the nation, probably in the world, has tours for children as well. And we just went to their open house this past weekend, and they had a children's surgical room, so children can bring their stuffed animals.
That are sick.
They're sick stuffed animals.
Yes.
And we fill out a worksheet on the animals, and then the children put on all their medical garb and go in and operate on their pets.
And so a little heart on it.
And when they get through, they get a little heart sewn on that the little animal's cured.
Well, that is darling.
It is.
How about, let's talk about your favorite party up there. Have you had one, or graduation's coming up? How about that?
Okay, well, I just want to tell you that, you know how when you're looking forward to doing something, you have a preconceived notion about how it's going to work out. And one of the things I thought was Burns and I would go to Stillwater, and every Friday night we would rent movies and have a big screen in this huge room down in the basement, make popcorn and have the students in to watch movies. Well, it doesn't work that way, and I didn't realize that we are scheduled pretty much all of the time. So if we do have a party, we literally go to our calendar and schedule a day to have that so that we are in that physical location to have a party. So we've had numerous receptions, and we always have students with us when we have a reception, because there again it reflects back on to the fact that we're there because of the students. But I would just say that my very, very favorite party so far was graduation last spring. And that is because I disappeared from the rank and file of what they call the VIP, sitting on the front row. And I said, don't worry about me, I'll be fine. I just want to go up. It's in Gallagher-Iba Arena, thousands and thousands of people. And I just wanted to be with families and friends of the students that were graduating. So I made my way up into the rafters. There are no reserved seats. And so I go, excuse me, is that seat taken? And they go, yes. Is that? Yes. Well, I had a hard time finding a seat. So finally I was given a seat, and I walked like 9 people over to get into my seat. And I found myself right in the corner of 4 different grads and their families and friends, and I got to feel the joy that they were feeling to watch their kids graduate, and it was great.
Very special.
It was very, very special. That's what it's all about.
And you wear something orange every day?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day.
Well, you look very sophisticated with your
thank you.
flower.
I tried to tone down my orange for you because I knew you were going to have these beautiful flowers from our friend Jim Valiant.
And they are pretty cool.
They're pretty special.
They've got orange Easter eggs.
Well, speaking of orange, I don't know why I meant to give this to you at the very first, Helen, but it is a watch, because I know we need to watch the time.
It is
that
beautiful.
Is a Fossil watch, and
Oh,
you
my
know the
gosh.
people at Fossil are OSU grads, so I just
Is that
thought I would
right?
do that little plug.
That
is right.
Very special.
International
Thank
company.
you so very much.
Thank you very much.
But now
Yes.
I want to ask you one more
Okay.
thing about the Madame Alexander dolls and the Pistol Pete dolls. So tell us where you are in production.
I know that you have done some wonderful stories on the fact that another grad of OSU is now president of Madame Alexander Dolls. And Gail Jarvis has come to the university and said that she would like to do some commemorative dolls, one of Pistol Pete and one of Pistol Pete's cowgirl friends.
They are darling.
They are going to be wonderful.
I've seen the prototypes.
The prototypes, yeah. And they are in production right now. I will tell you, because you've seen the prototypes, there was a little misunderstanding. We thought they were ours, and so we had them on display. And months later, we were wondering where we were in the process of getting the dolls. And Gail said, well, we're waiting to receive the prototypes. You have the one and only dolls on campus. So we were a little delinquent in getting the dolls back. So it's in the
now
process.
It's going again. Okay.
Now it's going again.
Okay, and she did a special one-of-a-kind doll, I think, for Madeline.
She did.
And that was darling, too.
Yeah, it's very special.
Okay, anything else about OSU or you want to share with us?
Well, Helen, I just want to say that if you ever get a chance to be a college president, you just got to jump at it. Take it for all it's worth.
You all have done a great job.
It's a great adventure.
Well, we're so glad to have had Ann in our studio today. She is just a wonderful advocate for OSU and for our state. We are proud to know her, and we send our love to your husband.
Thank you. Thank you. Wishes he were here too.
And thanks, Jim Valiant, for our orange flowers.
Precious, precious.
Let's see it.